This is me when I was at my lowest, and this is me a week ago. This video isn't going to be a typical self-improvement video. This video is especially for those young teens who have no father and want to do something in their lives but are somehow stuck. Because trust me, having no father can turn the tide against you in this modern world. However, I'll be sharing with you the experiences and the mistakes I made and how you can avoid them and use them as your advantage. I'm an average guy, so I know the struggle of an average person. You don't have to follow the exact same principles that I followed because my circumstances are different than yours. I do have a mother, maybe you don't have both of your parents. Or I have sibs and maybe you don't have them. Finally, at the end of this video, I'll share 2 methods that will be game-changing for everyone. Let's get into it. You will face unimaginable countless obstacles and consequences when you try to improve your life. But they say that if you really want something that bad, you will overcome everything. The reason for it is just simple. Why do all the people who are at the top succeed? Because when they were nothing, they had love for their passion. It is what fuels them. It's what made them move forward even after everything went against them. They found peace in following their passion and purpose. Because they didn't had anything special or beautiful in their life that they could turn to. So they turned to their purpose. My circumstances were similar to this. I was born in a poor family and was constantly brainwashed by people that my dreams are too big to achieve for someone like me. And I know you have been told the same thing, that you can't make it. However, the only thing that matters is this question. Where are you right now and where do you want to go? This question is scary and it cuts right through your bones and reveals your reality. It might be hard to answer, but if you can really answer it, things will begin to change. Most of us are living this social media driven, purposeless lives. And what do we do about it? Watch motivational videos online or watch movies and go to clubs to get high with our friends just to escape our reality. But there comes a time when you can't continue with this. It could be because you don't have money left. You are just fed up with your lifestyle, or your parents may have kicked you out of your home. Maybe a declining financial condition of your family. Whatever the reason might be, you just can't continue with this. It happened to me as well. The financial condition of my family was worsening and I was fed up with the life I was living. I didn't had an option but to do something about it. So for me, my passion came from my father. He used to watch supercars on Nat Geo where they showed how these breathtaking machines are built, and it just triggered something inside me. I became more and more curious about it. So go and find that one thing that you will like to do. And the best thing to do it is to just try out new things. If you get bored by a skill or work, then try something else and eventually you will find it. You will just need to be patient. Unfortunately, this duo won't going to last longer. My father was diagnosed with cancer. I still remember the day when he broke the news and said that he was not going to make it. I used to go with him for his chemotherapy, and as long as I remember, he wasn't worried about it. He knew he was going to die, but somehow he accepted it. From here, the struggle of my family began, but my mother took care of us despite looking after father. So I just hope that no one loses a parent. But what if you did? What will happen if your family stops supporting you with what you want to do? What will you do then? You will have no one to turn to. This is why you need to have a mentor in your life. It can be anyone, your uncle, your friend's father, or anyone. For me, it's my mother, and I also take inspiration from fictional characters too, like Galadriel from Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, old Kratos from God of War because he's wise, and Lara Croft from Tomb Raider franchise. The only thing that matters is that you should have access to them when you need it. On March the 3rd, 2013, my dad left us and my passion was kind of buried inside me. And I wasn't passionate about anything in that time period. We are a mere planet in this big solar system and a particle of sand in this galaxy. What happened to you was meant to happen. If God has put you into this, then God will also make a way out for you. So I lost my path and I tried my best to fill the gap inside me, and my plan was to find a girl who could fill that gap. I know it's stupid, but this is the reality. I was sensitive and I clearly didn't know myself at that time or where I was going. I was trying to find a deep connection. I wouldn't say that I didn't got any girl. In reality, I don't even remember how many girls came into my life, but it did not fill the gap inside me. Maybe because they didn't had what I was looking for. But I did what I wanted to do and it destroyed the creativity and curiosity inside me. Deep down, I was craving for guidance at that time. My mother knew what was happening to me and she tried her best to guide me, but she could not because I didn't tell her. If soulmates do exist, they are not found. They are made. People meet, they get a good feeling, and then they get to work building a relationship. No matter how deeply you crave the need of a partner, but he or she will only come at the right time. I'm not saying here that you should completely avoid the opposite gender, but to not throw yourself in this hookup culture. Your future partner will appreciate the fact that you built yourself up with patience instead of wasting time in clubs and parties in the name of finding the one. But until then, the best thing that we can do is to be the best version of yourselves. And the world will come after you if you take care of yourself. I can guarantee that. My life took a positive turn. My mother bought me a phone. Now hold on a second, some of you might say, how the fuck can a phone be a positive thing? Here it gets interesting. The guidance I needed, I got it from the internet. I started watching creators and they inspired me. I felt that I have found a new path that I can follow. I won't say that I was completely clean, but over the time I corrected myself. And after a year, I wanted to start my own YouTube channel on cars. And some of you might think that why just not do a job? It's because I had already caused so much damage to my academics that even if I wanted to do it, I would have to do it from scratch. I was good at studies, but my brain rusted over the years. And honestly, I wanted to build something of my own, something creative that I love to do. The biggest invention that man have invented is the wheel and the internet. No one would have imagined that a smartphone can have all the information about this world for free. It connects you with outer world. You can study their culture and interests and share ideas with them. If only I could have access to internet when I was like 10 or 12, I would have been in a completely different situation. But I am grateful right now for what I have. In September 2018, my mother and her brother bought me a PC. My own savings were also included in it. The sole reason of buying that PC was to create this YouTube channel that I have right now, and it was the best decision of that year. I started making videos, learned so many skills that just made me more confident. However, I wasn't satisfied with the views. I kinda regretted it. I was getting 200 views on average, which is still fine for a new channel, but I was dumb. I felt demotivated. If only I could have searched like how to run a YouTube channel, then maybe I would have thousands of subscribers by now, but it didn't happen. So instead of buying that PC, I could have bought a flagship phone, maybe an iPhone or something. But the reality is that I'm not going to grow with that phone. However, that PC or a laptop can allow me to grow as an individual. I can use it as a tool to make money or learn new stuff. Everything I have now have came from this PC and the internet. For me, buying a PC was an investment, and over the time, you will make money from it, just like I am making. But what did happen was the advice that my friends gave me. Now, I'm absolutely not blaming them, but they suggested me the thing that was trending at that time, gaming. Do you know what happens when you do something that you don't like? You leave it. That's exactly what happened. I left it also. So when you do something that you like, it will also come with a set of challenges and you will have to prepare for them. And don't let anyone talk you out of it. Maybe they can't see what you can see, so prove it to them. During this time period, I literally did nothing. I just wasted my time. Time is like a river. It won't stop flowing and it will take you with it. You can't resist it. It will flow. And you have a limited time, so make it count. So I got admission into this diploma program which taught manufacturing design, and I absolutely focused on my academics. I did my best in it, and then the pandemic hit. In the lockdown, I made this project which is one of my best work as of yet. But this growth was going to get interrupted by a girl. So the knowledge that you gain in your college or maybe in school, it won't go to waste. It will come handy in future, or it will be the reason for the growth of your brain. The best way for anyone young like us to gain knowledge is to read books. Lots of books. So these are mine that I'm currently reading. This one is the Daily Stoic and this one is the Blue Ocean Strategy. So yeah, read lots of books. It is so fascinating that the writer is kind of giving you a summary of the lessons that he or she have learned throughout his lifetime in that small, like 300 to 400 pages. I went through a breakup. On top of that, I also got typhoid fever, lost 10 kilograms of my weight. I was already skinny and got even skinnier. There is a saying in Arabic, if you love anything more than God, then God will humiliate you with that same thing that you loved more than Him. So put God on number 1, then your family. You may add your wife to it when you get married, but then on the 3rd place comes your friends. Although it's a different case if your bestie is like a family to you. So after 4 months of my breakup, my ex told me that she was infatuated. I felt so calm and relaxed the moment she said that.
Every day, more lies.
Because I was thinking that I did something wrong. But the reason for her walking away was a long-distance relationship. This is what I believe. She could have said it clearly, but she didn't. If only my ex could have told me the reason of her walking away, like just after the breakup, then I would have moved on much earlier. In fact, I believe that I wouldn't have lost my weight either. But she was ignoring me, and I tried my best to talk to her. So if this also happens to you, then believe me, it's not your fault. It's just that your partner was a bitch or an asshole. So they don't deserve the attention that you give them. Instead, you deserve your attention and your family. You must make yourself at peace by knowing the truth and confronting them for it, no matter how difficult it is. It was in this time that I felt at my lowest. My family did supported me, but they also began to doubt me, which is obvious. So I decided to do something better and recover from this. I did not know Hamza at the time or any other self-improvement content creator. All I knew was to get better and do something for me and for my family. I began searching for skills and jobs that I could do, something that I also love doing. I already had a diploma in manufacturing design, but I wanted to try something else. A job that takes less time and pays more, allows me to work on YouTube part-time and start a side hustle maybe. And then I tried lots of things, graphic design, calligraphy, 3D modeling, and content writing. But I stopped at video editing. I always loved making videos, just like I'm making right now, and this realization led me to start my own online business. I began to learn video editing, and it was a win-win situation for me. I could earn money by editing videos for YouTubers or content creators, but I could also edit my own videos. Let's save the lesson of this time period for the next part of this video, because trust me, it's going to be worth it. It took me some time to get to the level in video editing that I wanted, because I always prefer quality over quantity. Later, I began landing clients, mostly YouTubers. And now I'm able to support my family, which a year ago I could not. I began to truly look after my siblings and guide them, taking care of them, and my efforts didn't go to waste. They both got into college and I paid their academic fee, which was one of my goals to achieve this year. So if you don't have any siblings or any parents, that you can do whatever you want. However, if you do have them, then it is your responsibility to look after them. You will feel like a father despite not being married. It's one of the best feelings in the world. The bond between your family will grow stronger and stronger. And when you have fulfilled your responsibilities, then you can do whatever you want, go wherever you go, or buy anything you want. It's just up to you. So far, I have told you about how I made mistakes and how I overcame them. In addition to this, there is something else that I want to tell you about, and I believe you don't need anything else beside this to succeed in your life. The first method is called the 5-step process from the book Principles by Ray Dalio, who is an American investor and a great guy. He says that once you find the courage to do what you want to do, you will face many challenges and obstacles on your path. However, the only thing that guarantees your salvation is how you learn from the problems that you face and not repeat them in the future. In his book Principles, Ray tells a 5-step process that anyone can follow to achieve the success in any field you desire. Step 1 is to knowing your goals and running after them. Step 2, encountering the problems that comes in your way. The key here is to not tolerate those problems but to actually identify them. Step 3, diagnosing those problems by taking a step back and reflecting on what went wrong. Step 4, designing a plan to eliminate those problems. Step 5, to actually execute those designs or solutions. He also adds that a successful life consists of following these 5 steps over and over throughout our lives. You can see this concept being used literally everywhere, whether it be corporations, firms, or individuals. I would suggest you to watch this video, Principles for Success by Ray, but after this final lesson that I'm going to share, and trust me, it's going to be game-changing. One of the best things that we can do right now is to find ourselves, specifically find our weaknesses and our strengths. I understand that it's difficult for a lot of people, but you will have to put your ego aside if you really want to succeed. Because you won't go far without knowing yourself. So let's begin. To understand yourself, you need to understand your personality first, who you really are and how you see this world. Have you ever thought about why you learn an academic lesson in a particular way, or why you are more productive at a certain time of the day? Some of you are sensitive and others just don't care. To figure out why this happens, Carl Jung, who was an analytical psychologist, developed a theory. It's called Jung's theory of personality types. This theory is designed to categorize people into different personality patterns. Now, let me give a simple demonstration on how it works. Jung's theory focused on 4 basic psychological functions, and a person can only have one of each of these. Here are those 4 functions that Jung introduced in his theory. To understand it better, I'll use my own personality as an example. I have introversion, intuition, I'm feeling, and I'm judging. If I combine these 4 categories, it makes me an INFJ, which means I am introverted, I focus on meanings and patterns, I make decisions based on feelings, and I prefer to be organized. Now, according to this theory, the biggest challenge for me is to go out there and talk, connect, and network with people. But my introversion also gives me an edge over the others because of my analytical capabilities. I can really dig deep into a topic. I make decisions based on feelings, which already isn't a good thing. I prefer to be organized, which is my strength. So this was a way to identify your personality, but it doesn't end here. Jung's theory of personality types was in fact just a theory. It was later studied by psychiatrists like Catherine Cook Briggs and Isabel Briggs Myers. They later refined this theory and transformed it into a simple test that anyone could take and know their own personality. So how do you take this test? I have a link in the description by which you can take this test and find your own personality. After you take the test, it will tell you about your strengths and weaknesses and a bunch of more stuff. Which brings us to, how do we encounter our weaknesses? Let me explain by a real life demonstration. So I am an INFJ. These are my strengths and these are my weaknesses. But this is very general stuff, and anyone can find out these on the website where you take this test. But the difference begins when we dig deep into it. This is a practical demonstration of a blog that I read on a website. It's called the car model. Here I am in this car. Take this car as my conscientiousness. This car is basically me. The driver is my introverted intuition. Basically, this is how I perceive this world or see this world. It does many things, but its main function is to observe a situation from all possible angles. That's why it's called introverted intuition. This is my biggest strength, but it also limits my growth. You may think, how? Because introverts tend to avoid crowd and people, and in business, you need to exactly do that. Moving on to my co-pilot, which is my extroverted feeling, this supports my driver, and that's why it's called co-pilot. This trait is responsible for my growth. The more I practice it, the more I'll grow as an individual. You can think of it that I have an extrovert inside me which I can turn on and off depending on the situation. It also makes decisions based on how things are impacting others. It's drawn to relationships, interpersonal dynamics, and getting the needs of others met. On the back seat are 2 kids who are a part of my personality but don't show themselves often. However, they play a crucial role in my life and I can't ignore them. Behind my co-pilot is a 10-year-old who is my introverted thinking. This trait has the mentality of a 10-year-old. Basically, it's my weakness. Because I can act as a victim or go into defense mode if I'm not careful about it. I can become critical of others when their opinions don't match mine, or someone's emotion might make me feel assaulted. I can also try to become perfect all the time just to avoid conflicts. So taking care of this 10-year-old is absolutely necessary. Lastly, behind me is a 3-year-old child who is my extroverted sensing. This is my least mature trait, the opposite of my biggest strength, so my biggest weakness as well. It's my biggest weakness because it needs a certain lifestyle in order to function properly. And what is that lifestyle? I should take care of my well-being by going out in nature, doing exercise and training, start journaling, and doing spiritual practices. And what will happen if I don't follow this lifestyle? It will come out from the shadows when I'm too stressed or overwhelmed. I can go to food, alcohol, sex, or other highly pleasuring activities in an overindulging and destructive way. However, it's the source of my willpower as well. Basically, I don't have a control over it, but I can do the things that will keep it under control. But if I don't take care of it, it will take over everything, which will be a disaster. So this was a summary of all of my weaknesses and strengths. And now you may think that how can you turn your weakness into your strengths? Here's a practical 3-step solution based on this SCAR model for my own INFJ personality. So INFJs who are watching this video, you may take notes if you want to. Step 1. I should dedicate my attention and efforts to developing my extroverted side, which simply means that I should do practices that are more extroverted. Start networking and meet new people, do public speaking, and I can also learn to say no to people. This is the best thing I can do to instantly increase my growth. Without a strong co-pilot, I'll be stuck in the same place with the same old challenges.
Bro, you have to keep your eyes on the road. You cannot lose your focus.
Step 2. I need to be aware of my 10-year-old introverted thinking and how it steers me away from where I actually want to go. I need to develop strategies to deal with this and getting myself get back on the track. I can also use it in the time of play and intimacy. Step 3. My 3-year-old extroverted sensing needs extra care and attention. I should develop a healthy routine that this 3-year-old needs to function properly and keep me safe, healthy, and on the right track. For example, I can go out in nature, do exercise and training, start journaling, do spiritual practices, eat clean food, etc. And if I ignore it, it will be a disaster because I can't directly control it unless I build a healthy routine. There is something that is more significantly important than anything else: your mental health. The reason that your mental health is so crucial is because you won't be able to do anything if your mind is not healthy. So make sure to practice gratitude journaling because it will give you a direction. Based on my own experiences, I myself have filled 2 journals in 2021. Most of you might think that it's trash. It doesn't help, but it really does. Believe me, it really does help. Do exercise, it will enhance your stamina and energy, and you will be able to do more in less time. Eat clean, because a good gut feeling is a good mood. Practice meditation, it will help you become mindful of your surrounding and yourself. You will begin to live in the moment. You also need to read so that you may see the traps of the matrix more clearly. And also make sure to eliminate toxicity from your life, whether it's coming from your family, friends, workplace, or from your environment. Distance yourself from it. Building yourself is challenging, and most of the time you are going to feel, where am I, or where am I even heading? But trust me, no matter how difficult these questions might be to answer, it will always spark something inside you. And if you follow it, you will fail many times in the beginning, but as the time goes by, it will all come to your senses, and the clouds will begin to clear. Because every man needs an endeavor in his life to get to his full potential. The only thing that separates a boy from a man is how he controls his feelings and his emotions. And lastly, I just want to share that I have literally sacrificed my privacy for this video. However, the purpose of this video is that even if a single person takes anything from this video and tries to improve his or her life, then it will be worth it. That's the only purpose. And for the viewers who are watching this channel from the very beginning, don't worry, this video was an exception. I know the topic of this video was absolutely different from what I usually make, but I promise you that more videos will be coming out on cars and aircrafts, planes, and all of that stuff. So make sure to subscribe, and also I'll be uploading a documentary in a week. So yeah, wait for that as well. So take care of yourself, and remember,
do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.